Here's the decision right here, just handed to us from the Supreme Court. What they're saying here, this is the case called South Dakota versus Wayfair, and has implications for internet taxes throughout the country, whether or not South Dakota had the ability to tax internet sales that took place in its state under a South Dakota law. What the court has said here is that the judgment of the Supreme Court of South Dakota is vacated and the case is remanded for further proceedings, not inconsistent with this opinion. So this would appear to be a big win here for South Dakota in order to be able to collect these taxes on internet retailers that operate in its state. We'll have to go through this and take a look at all the implications here, but one of the questions is whether Supreme Court precedent going back about 26 years or more could stand, given the fact that the internet and internet retailing has changed the economy so dramatically. Is there a physical presence requirement for states to collect sales taxes in each individual state? That is a big question in the world of Amazon, for example, in the world of Wayfair. So it looks like this is going to be a win for states who want to collect those sales taxes. But we're just getting this opinion right now. We're going to have to go through it and look for all the ramifications of this, Carl.
Yeah, it's me, Eamon. Obviously, we reported many times on President Trump's tweets when they involve Amazon not collecting sales tax. And we should always point out Amazon does collect sales tax when it is sold by Amazon. It is the third-party sellers on the platform who don't always, and in many cases do not, collect that sales tax. That would obviously seem to be a very important component of this potential ruling if, in fact, it has to change their behavior, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the question is really for the states. What kind of laws can they write in terms of taxation on internet transactions, exactly how that is perceived, right? Does an internet retailer have to have a physical presence, and what does physical presence even mean in this day and age in that individual state? That's the question that the court is wrestling with here, and going back to some Supreme Court precedent, going back decades, and the question is whether Supreme Court justices decades ago had even the possibility of foreseeing the retail landscape that we have in this country today. And the argument was that they, in fact, did not have the ability to foresee what would happen here. And physical presence doesn't mean today what it did back then.
Yeah, Eamon, a fight that started in North Dakota and is now playing out with South Dakota. I want you to stay right there. I'm going to bring in Courtney Reagan as well for more. Courtney, a reaction from the retail side of things.
You know, I actually have to say that the National Retail Federation had come out, which is, of course, is the big lobby group that often speaks on behalf of retailers, and say, look, we actually want an equal playing field. We do believe that retail and e-commerce has certainly changed since laws have really looked at this idea of physical nexus, which is usually what requires the collection of sales tax. And as David pointed out there, Amazon has been collecting sales tax if indeed it owns and ships that product. But remember, the third-party sellers on Amazon, so part of that marketplace, makes up a little bit more than half of everything that's sold on the site. So really, this has bigger implications for a smaller business. They're going to have to institute tax software, whether that's through the help of a platform like Amazon that presumably could provide something like that to them, likely for another fee, or whether or not they buy that software and figure out exactly what that calculation is on their own. But in general, I think retailers are looking at just evening the playing field and sort of getting the laws caught up to where we are economically in the state of retail, because everything, of course, is cross-border now, not just states, but also internationally with the help of the internet.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.